Hello there my friends, my name is Riskafish and today I'm here with another video on Warhammer 3 Total War. Ever since the day that CA literally hid whispers hinting the Warden and the Paunch in the Shadow and the Blade trailer, it has always been good to analyse the information we get for any hidden hints. And the reason I have made this video today is that I think I have discovered another hidden secret in the Warhammer 3 trailer that pertains to the true ruler of Grand Cathay. The Emperor Usurped. The first thing to establish is that something is very wrong with Grand Cathay in the trailer. The leaders of each race normally start in their race's capital cities, with Karl Franz in Altdorf, Thorgrim in Karakay-Karaz, Manfred in Castle Drakenhof, King Lewin in Karun, Orion in Taliesin, Tyrion in Lothern, Malakath in Nagrond, Setri in Kenray, Luther Harkin in the Vampire Coast. And that said, it is clear from the trailer that the Celestial Dragon Emperor does not start in Wei Jin, the capital of Cathay. Let me explain. All of the pieces shown on the map represent legendary lords. The blue piece, for example, is decorated in the same way as Katarina's headdress and is coloured blue, which is visually in line with her ice magic in the trailer. The Kislevite forces were also facing Khorne in the trailer, and there is a red piece further along with an oblong head, 2 horns and 2 tusks, which I believe matches Uzzul Skulltaker, who is Khorne's official champion. A demon prince who was born by the actions of a bloodthirster, takes the form of a bloodletter and rides a juggernaut just like the Skull Crushers, referencing the 3 Khorne units shown in the Warhammer 3 trailer. Not to mention that the battle in the trailer is literally taking place on the Road of Skulls, and his name is Skulltaker. The Green Dragon Priest then is very likely to represent the Celestial Dragon Emperor. Now for a basic geography lesson in the Warhammer world. Cathay has 3 important points of reference, and they are its 3 rivers. The most northern river runs out east out of Wei Jin to the sea. The central river runs diagonally across the centre of Cathay, and the southern river runs east out of the lands of the Celestial Dragon Monks. In the Warhammer 3 trailer though, we can see that the piece for the Celestial Dragon Emperor is located in a province called the Celestial Riverlands, which is almost certainly the river connected to the land of the Celestial Dragon Monks, hence why it has the name Celestial in its title. Not to mention there is an angled river just to the north of it, literally running through the name of Grand Cathay, which would normally mark the centre of the country. Wei Jin is significantly further to the north-northeast depending on the map, and yet the Celestial Dragon Emperor is nowhere near his own capital. The question then is, why isn't he in his own capital, and is there someone there in his place? A surprisingly innocent Monkey King. If one knows the lore of Cathay, then they will know on at least one occasion the Monkey King has taken power for himself. However, there is something very suspicious in the Warhammer 3 trailer. Cathay is revealed at the end of the Warhammer 3 trailer, but the old man keeps 2 areas covered, and they are the west and the east of Cathay. The papers to the east cover the area where Wei Jin, the capital, would normally be, and have a suspicious symbol on them, eerily similar to the 8-pointed Star of Chaos. The western papers, on the other hand, could also cover an important location. You see, Monkey Warriors, the race to which the Monkey King belongs, are said to reside in the Mountains of Heaven, which do not show on any Warhammer map. However, Cathay is the old name for China and clearly draws inspiration from China, and lo and behold, there is a location known as the Mountains of Heaven, or alternatively Tian Shan, in the real world in northwest China, which, if you infer onto a Warhammer map, would place it right next to the Warpstone Desert. It is also worth pointing out that the Monkey King is known to trade with Clan Eshin and the Skaven, so him starting next to the Warpstone Desert, knowing the value of Warpstone to the Skaven, it makes a lot of sense. The reason why I think this has been concealed is that it would confirm that the Monkey King isn't the one who has usurped the Dragon Emperor's throne, and it would draw attention to the Chaos symbol. There is another point that also supports this. Katarina is currently fighting the forces of Khorne at the top of the Mountains of Morn. We know this because the province she starts in is called the Path to the East, which is located at the top of the Mountains of Morn, just west of the Great Bastion. Now Kislev controls a moderate piece of land to the north of the Empire, which is its homeland, and the only other land it controls is the Wheatlands, which is located in the northwest of the Darklands. The question then is, why is Katerina travelling so far east away from Kislev? And this gets even more puzzling because the letter on her desk says, "We must act quickly, and so I send ? You with my complete authority, while I secure the throne and the ? Nation's borders." This straight up says that Katerina's purpose in coming east is to secure a nation's border, yet she is moving away from her homeland of Kislev, and is a significant distance away from its closest territory. So the nation's border she is referring to can't possibly refer to Kislev. It is almost certainly referring to Cathay, and this is even more likely because if you look on her desk, she has a map based on Grand Cathay, and she also has a piece for the Dragon Emperor, which suggests that she is cooperating with him in some sense towards some purpose. And the reason that Kislev normally moves isn't because of some monkey king doing mischief, it's always to combat the forces of chaos. And I suspect that the throne referenced in the letter is referring to the throne of Grand Cathay, showing that chaos has usurped the throne of Grand Cathay. Conquer your demons. The first thing to establish here is that the official saying for Warhammer 3 is conquer your demons. However, while this may have a literal sense in Warhammer, ordinarily this refers to one confronting their own evils and sins, and there is evidence that this is also the case in Warhammer 3. The letter on the table is addressed to Yuri Kavalenko, a man who, despite being loyal to Kislev, has had both his personality and one of his arms corrupted by chaos through an arcane crystal he took from a chaos warrior. In this case, conquer your demons could refer to Yuri's battle within himself, whether he will succumb to the powers of chaos or resist them, this possibly displaying as a unique campaign mechanic. My favourite idea, however, is that Yuri is Katerina's demon. He is already partially corrupted by chaos, and on the Tsarina's order is going north to confront a demon prince who may well be Be'lakor. What if Yuri falls to chaos precisely due to the Tsarina's orders? It could be then said that Yuri is a demon created by Tsarina, and in the end she must face her demon and conquer her demon. Now we return to Cathay, where I feel a similar kind of situation is being set up. In the lore, Tzeentch, who is known as Changeling in the east, has a cult in Grand Cathay, and while its popularity among the masses is never mentioned, it is known that the cult has managed to permeate the upper echelons of the aristocracy in Belchai, a Cathayan city, and alarmingly, the lore makes a point to say that it is unknown if the worship of Tzeentch was forbidden or not. In an interview with Mark Bedford, a Warhammer studio designer and conceptualist, he said people will be surprised with the Cathayan hierarchy, and most people are expecting the Dragon Empire or the Monkey King to reside in Weijin and have the throne of Cathay, which would not be a surprise because it is what everyone is expecting. Now let's figure this out. Grand Cathay, a nation so anti-chaos that it built the world's longest fortification just to keep chaos out, may be allowing the worship of Tzeentch, a god of chaos, and even has influence among its aristocracy and upper echelons of its society. Why would this happen? And my theory is that the Changeling, known as Tzeentch's trickster, and an existence able to take the form of anything except his own god, has taken the form of the Cathayan Emperor and has usurped the true celestial Dragon Emperor. Let me explain why I think it is the Changeling specifically. The first is that in the Warhammer 3 trailer, the trait mentioned when showing the Lord of Change, Tzeentch's personal greater demon, is and the Changeling is said to manifest the part of Tzeentch's psyche orientated towards pranks and deceit, earning the name as the Deceiving Horror. Second, it is able to take the form of anything except Tzeentch himself, so the phrase conquer your demons could refer to the Emperor of Cathay facing a doppelganger of himself, the Changeling. Thirdly, the Changeling is arguably the most powerful existence under Tzeentch. This is an existence that has started a war between Chaos Gods by stealing rotten apples from Nurgle and leaving them in Slaanesha's palace, and sitting back and watching the chaos unfold. He even locked Khorne, the Blood God himself, out of his own brass citadel, the Blood God's own home. Not surprisingly, all of the Chaos Gods wants to kill the Changeling, but it always escapes unharmed. Not to mention that the Changeling can take the form of any greater demon. He is the greatest deceiver of Tzeentch, the Great Deceiver, which is why he's called Tzeentch's Trickster. One final note is that Egram Van Horseman, who is believed to have been the advisor for the first game, had his cloak made from hair that the Changeling cut off from Slaanesh while he slept. A lot of people have been saying that the advisor in the Warhammer 3 trailer looks like a younger version of Egram Van Horseman from Warhammer 1. However, what if it's not? He does look younger, but as we know about the Changeling, he can take any form, and he always leaves a clue in plain sight despite his deceptions. I can't think of a clue in plain sight. Can you? This brings us to the end of the video. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll leave you with one last thing. You can conquer your demons, you can command them, but remember,